Are you struggling with feeling stuck in your life journey? Does it seem as if the challenges or conflicts that you keep experiencing are on repeat? Healing through feeling could be your new way through to a more satisfying life. Now, here is the host of the Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show, licensed marriage and family therapist and life guide, Sharyn Nichols.
Welcome, everyone, to today's show, and thank you so much for tuning in to the Feel to Heal show with myself, Sharyn Nichols, and I am a licensed marriage and family therapist and life guide, and I've really been doing a lot of thinking, because that's mostly what I do, a lot of thinking about how to sort of just be what it is that, not how to be, what it is that I actually really do as a therapist and a life guide. And where I am today, because it changes, is I'm all about giving you a different perspective and then supporting in the pivot. Because I've been, the intro is giving up the struggle. And we all struggle as humans and as we age, which is today's topic. Aging. Is it just a number? What does it even mean? I mean, why is it we place so much emphasis on elders, knowing that they have this wisdom, although yet we spend so much time ignoring them? It's so much of a dichotomy, to me at least. And then also, the expression that youth is wasted on the young. And everybody just wants to be young. And so much emphasis is put on youngness, which I now want to equate to newness and openness and sort of the beginner's mind, being a beginner, starting off something new. And with regards to development, we all start with a completely clean slate. That's what we do. We start off with a clean slate because we enter the world and hopefully most of us have, all of our limbs and digits all in the proper places and all the organs in the proper places in terms of the normal. And we'll go with the whole normal thing. There's can't have one without the other in terms of there's always exceptions to every rule. So that being said, we're all truly a fresh canvas, and we all must go through all the stages of development because our brains develop the same way in each human being. They develop the exact same way. Now, the wiggle room in that is that some people's brains develop faster and some people's brains develop slower. I'll never forget there was this great book, and I might have even brought it up on one of the shows, called Leo the Late Bloomer. And I thought it was a fabulous little cardboard book that was, 10, 15 pages. And it was great because, my little ones could hold it. And as I was reading, and I would read the story to them that Leo, the late bloomer, he was a lion and he tried so hard to keep up with everybody, all the other lion cubs. And he tried and he tried and he tried and he kept getting the support that he needed from his parents and from his siblings, although there wasn't anything that he could do other than just have more days on the planet and continue his development and his growth. And so finally, one day he got it. He was able to do everything that everyone else his age could do. I need to just take a breath on that. Eventually, we will get there. Eventually, we will all be in the same place. So I chose this topic since I went off topic. Well, not really. I chose this topic because there is so much of life that's talked about with regards to our age. Like there's a certain time when you get to do certain things based on your age. And then there's expectations of things that you can't do based on your age. And who decides that for you? Who decides that for you? So, like I mentioned before, youth is wasted on the young. So, at what age should you fill in the blank? And so, I was doing a little research as I usually do. Actually, you know what? First, I want to give you the definition of aging. And looking for it, scrolling. Age is, well, to me, it's not just a number. Age has to do with development, having to do with the three areas: the psychosocial, the cognitive, and the spiritual, although those are my three. According to psychology, ha ha ha, and I say that so tongue in cheek because that is exactly what I am. And I'm totally blanking on, just gonna take a breath. I'm having one of those days today where my age maybe is finally catching up with me and I can't remember things like I would like to. But I'll get to that. We'll move from there. Age. Age is truly just a number. And it has to do with the amount of days that you've been alive on the planet. So how many times you've gone around the sun. And we put so much focus on age. And why? Why do we put so much focus on age? Why is it usually the first thing we ask somebody? Well, how old are you? I mean, I do it as a therapist. One of the first questions is, when's your birthday? How old are you? Because it's a jumping off point. It's also a really good, like I've been talking about, it's a really good way to join someone. Because if you're the same age or you're born in the same year, you have a million things you can talk about. Or if you just know what year they were born, you can ask them questions about what they remember and so forth and so on. I'm just thinking. I'm doing a lot of thinking. And like I mentioned, there's the age gap, there's the generation gap, there's just your point of view and how you look at life and what lens you're looking through. Because until you're 25 and your prefrontal cortex is fully formed, and the prefrontal cortex, because I've been talking about it forever, is the belief, I believe I should say that, or it is proven, don't know, that to me, this is the last part of the brain to fully form. And that's also why I've been so focused on it, because I think once we hit 25, that's when we actually truly should start living our life for ourselves, meaning the prefrontal cortex, it specializes in anticipation, planning, and impulse control. So how can we be expected at 18, 19, and 20, 21 years of age to know what we want to do, to be able to plan, to be able to actually think about our future and where we want it to be? So I'm fascinated because I have all college-age children, and everybody keeps asking, well, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? And so they want to do things that A, they think will bring them a lot of money, or B, it'll make mom or dad happy, or C, they may be just good at it. And so therefore it's easy. So they're going to keep with it, even though it's not challenging. And after a while, it could be boring for them. Although they have no idea. They have no clue, truly, really, unless they decided at age 6 or 7 that they wanted to become a doctor, or that they wanted to become a lawyer because they had some defining moment that early on in their life that they realized that this is what they want to do. So this has been fueling them and their passion. And so that's also why I think probably youth is wasted on the young, because they don't have the impulse control. So therefore then they just do fly off the handle, and maybe they do take risks that they wouldn't take at 35 or 40, because now their prefrontal cortex is fully formed. I do want to say also that because I have had this belief or this understanding fully for myself with regards to the prefrontal cortex, that it's absolutely helped me as a mom. I mean, my expectations of my own children have definitely changed. Like, I am so okay when I say, because like I actually really even have a choice when I even say this, that my daughter is going to school to get a liberal arts degree. So she's not necessarily focused on one thing, and that's okay, because she gets to try and experience and do a bunch of different things until she needs to truly make a decision. Because I've also been saying that my children will be functioning adults, contributing members of society. Because truly, that's the most important thing for me, is that I give them those tools and show them how to do it for themselves. Because one thing I do know about aging is that at some point in time, I won't be here. And they will need to be able to figure it out for themselves. Not that I'm planning on going anywhere anytime soon, although you never know. You absolutely, positively never know. Not that I want to be morbid in any way, shape, or form, although just in the noticing of aging and how my age has affected me and my whole thought process and my whole life in terms of the shoulds and the shouldn'ts based on age. So for those that are listening or watching live on Facebook, come join us here in the Inspired Choices Network. Just click on Inspired Choices Network and then click on the link to join the chat room. Please come on in. I looking for always communication, feedback, all of it. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to take a short little break. You're listening to the Inspired Choices Network and myself, Sharyn Nichols, Feel to Heal show. And I am so excited to have you here and looking forward to you coming back and us talking more about aging and me, bringing it all back together. So see you back here in a moment.
At different times on our life journey, we can feel stuck and struggle with seeing our way through. What if the answer to the struggle is just to go deeper than the surface? By tuning in to Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show, with licensed marriage and family therapist and life guide Sharyn Nichols, you'll receive insight and guidance on exploring your feelings in order to heal yourself. Are you ready to create a more satisfying, peaceful, and successful life? Listen for the Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show every Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Mountain, and 3 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Healing through feeling is possible. What if you could start living life as you were meant to, before all the conditioning and trauma covered up your beautiful soul? What if your relationships could deepen through a more authentic connection to your feelings and others? A more satisfying, successful, and peaceful life is obtainable when you work with Sharyn Nichols, marriage and family therapist and life guide. Connect through her website, feeltoheal.com, or her email, SharynNichols@feeltoheal.com, to learn more about the Feel to Heal process. Isn't it time for you to start healing?
This is Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols Show with licensed marriage and family therapist and life guide Sharyn Nichols. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also ask questions or comments by email by sending to SharynNichols@feeltoheal.com. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in to the Feel to Heal show with myself, Sharyn Nichols, and today's topic is age. How old are you? How old do you feel? How old do you think you are? All these wonderful questions. And the biggest thing is, or not the biggest thing, why do we put so much focus on age? Why? Why do we? And I really wish that, yes, I have my answer. Why do you put so much focus on your age? Do you put yourself then in a box? Is it a way to define you? Does it keep you in the box? Or does it allow you to become bigger for yourself? And by the way, you can always reach out to me through my website, feeltoheal.com, or please email me at SharynNichols@feeltoheal.com. I really would love for this to be so much more interactive than it is, although I welcome everything always. And thank you so much for those of you who are listening and allowing my voice to actually be heard. So thank you. At this point in my life, at this age, definitely, pun for sure intended, being that I'm in the middle, I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful each and every day to have another day to keep adding on. So each day I can tackle it as though I have a beginner's mind. However, that each day is a new day, meaning that I get to create it. I don't need to be stuck with the ideas and the things that I should have done or shouldn't have done. I get to start each day completely new. Isn't that why we have birthdays and we celebrate? So we celebrate the year that's passed, and we're so grateful that we survived another year. And I mean that sincerely, because, our lifespan used to only be about 45, 50 years. And so now most people I know are living well into their 90s. I even keep hearing about all of my friends' grandparents who are in their hundreds, early hundreds. And I think it's amazing. And as long as I still have my health, as long as I can still have a quality of life, I hope to make it to 100. I would love to be able to give my insights over the past 100 years, a whole century. Anyway, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, so I'm going to dial it back. I've had so many thoughts about age and aging, and so many different people have come up to me with different aspects of it because it is so big and huge. So let's narrow it. There's the age gap. Someone said to me yesterday about how what is the biggest age gap in terms of a relationship that would appear either weird or creepy or wrong? Because of course we're always judging. So I'm just going to put that in there, that there is no judging. And so I had to sit back and really think about it in terms of, for myself, what that actually meant and how did I actually truly feel about it. And I mean, is there a big difference between 50 and 70? As there is such a difference between 20 and 40? I mean, it's still 20 years, although I'm going to keep bringing you back to the amount of days on the planet. And then, of course, there are those, young people who are looking for mother figures, if you're, male, and for women, if you're looking for a father figure, because things you didn't get when you were younger, again, having probably to do with development. And all the things that I've been talking about for the longest time with regards to how we age, how we develop, how we see ourselves. And so then where are the milestones? And what milestones are so important to you? So in doing my research, there's a couple of things that I just want to share. This I got from legalandgeneral.com. 8 in 10 of us, because they interviewed over thousands of people to come up with this. It was a very, really big sample size. So 8 in 10 of us feel younger in our minds than what's written on our birth certificates. On average, we feel 12 years younger mentally and 4 years younger physically. So having a persistent ache or pain adds 8 years to our subjective age. And the thought of losing others makes us feel older and considering our own mortality. And so live events and exploring the outdoors are the top activities for staying young at heart. So when we're young, our age defines us because we can't vote and drink. Well, we can't vote until 18, drink until 21, rent a car 21 till 25. Money gets added, having probably to do with that impulse control thing. And then after we turn 25, it then becomes the big birthdays, the 5s and the 0s. And then we often look back, and we often look back as opposed to looking forward. So I had a 5 birthday last year, and I was so excited because I was double Nichols. And I did look back over the past 55 years of my life and so grateful for all of the choices, all the shoulds, all the shouldn'ts, everything, because I know I've said this multiple times. I am the sum of all of my experiences. So my age to me is smack dab in the middle, maybe a little bit more than the middle, although I really feel as though I am in the middle. So I'm past my prime, but not fully into the end. And now I have clients who are in their teens, and I have a client who is going to be 80 next year. And of course, we talk about all different things. Although, do we really? It all still comes down to how they feel about themselves. So it doesn't matter what age you are. And so up until 25, though, there's still a lot of meaning placed on what your parents think and what you think, and you trying to figure it out. And until you have the executive reasoning and functioning, it's going to be really hard. So one of the tools in the toolbox for under 25 is to just wait. Wait to respond. Just wait. You don't have to wait forever. Just wait until you actually have had some time to think about all the possibilities of what the decision that you are looking to make, how it will affect and what it will affect. Just take a breath. Just take a breath. Receive a breath. So yes, it's about impulse control, although it doesn't have to be about impulse control from a negative standpoint. It could be about impulse control from a positive standpoint, meaning that if you just take a breath, you'll be able to have a clearer mind, and then you'll be able to react in a way that is so far better for you in the long run. And you very well may come to the conclusion that what you wanted to do in the first place is the actual thing that you end up doing. Although taking a breath and giving yourself that moment is going to be probably one of the best things that you can do for yourself going forward. Because my incredible 79-year-old client, she still gets caught up in the impulse, in the need now to make sure that she gets to say what she needs to say, from fear that she might not have the time to do it. And so the tool that I've been working on with her in her toolbox is take a breath and reframe what it is that you want to say, and just say it. Although moving through and letting go of the notion that you're running out of time, because you still may be too quick to act. So slow it down, because you still have plenty of time. Meaning that everything is going to happen exactly as it is supposed to. I've been saying that this is my belief forever. And I take it back. Maybe it's not my belief forever. It's what I have been with for at least the past 30 years, since my prefrontal cortex was fully formed. And the idea that everything happens exactly as it's supposed to, I know I just said that, I'm repeating, and I'm collecting my thoughts. We make decisions still out of fear, and then out of shoulding, and then out of judgment. And so I'm just thinking about life and my life and how to incorporate my little bit. My brother was given a really scary wake-up call. He was rear-ended by a truck. He's 100% fine, and he walked away saying, of course, thank you, and that he had hot dogs in his freezer, that they're in the freezer because, they're really not the best thing for you. They're filled with a lot of nitrates and nitrites and all of it. And maybe hot dogs aren't the best thing. And he realized that, you know what? I'm going to take those hot dogs out of my freezer and I'm going to cook one. Because you actually really only live once. And he was faced with the fact that his life could end at any time. And not that I'm being morbid about it, it's just every so often we perhaps need a wake-up call that you're actually living your life, and it actually doesn't matter how old you are. This is still your life. So I'm going to take a breath on that, and we're going to take a short break. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Feel to Heal show with myself, Sharyn Nichols, and we are talking about aging. And when we come back, we're going to talk more about it. See you back here in a moment.
At different times on our life journey, we can feel stuck and struggle with seeing our way through. What if the answer to the struggle is just to go deeper than the surface? By tuning in to Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show, with licensed marriage and family therapist and life guide Sharyn Nichols. You'll receive insight and guidance on exploring your feelings in order to heal yourself. Are you ready to create a more satisfying, peaceful, and successful life? Listen for the Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show every Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Mountain, and 3 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
Healing through feeling is possible. What if you could start living life as you were meant to, before all the conditioning and trauma covered up your beautiful soul? What if your relationships could deepen through a more authentic connection to your feelings and others? A more satisfying, successful, and peaceful life is obtainable when you work with Sharyn Nichols, marriage and family therapist and life guide. Connect through her website, feeltoheal.com, or her email, SharynNichols@feeltoheal.com, to learn more about the Feel to Heal process. Isn't it time for you to start healing?
This is Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols Show with licensed marriage and family therapist and life guide Sharyn Nichols. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also ask questions or comments by email by sending to SharynNichols@feeltoheal.com. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, and thank you so much for tuning in. I'm beginning to feel like a little bit of a broken record, although that's a good thing, I think, because it reminds me, every time I say it out loud, it reminds me because I am on the decline with regards to aging. So there are some things that we can do for successful aging, because aging is actually a privilege that we as a society are embracing more and more. We're looking forward to retirement because it now brings freedom, whereas before the thought of retiring was, okay, it's now the end. I've got nothing else to sort of do. Although I know so many men and women who are of retirement age, and they are thriving now even more than when they had full-time jobs, because they are actually exploring all of those things that they didn't do when they were younger, or they're just doing nothing. They're spending more time in nature, because that's definitely one of the things that we should, so yes, now I'm shitting on you, be doing in terms of supporting. I'm just off today. Language, I'm just off. And I'm just going to bring it back. Just bring it back. Bring it back. So, what is successful aging? Successful aging is the process of growing older while maintaining physical health, cognitive abilities, and strong social relationships. So life expectancy has increased because we middle-aged adults are taking better care of ourselves. We are taking vitamins. We are moving our bodies more. We're actually clearing our minds. More of us are in talk therapy probably than ever before, because we've erased a lot of this stigma that was associated with being in therapy and sharing of yourself, I was blown away by I think it was this year at the Oscars or last year at the Oscars, an actor got up there and actually thanked their therapist. Thanked their therapist for supporting them and for giving them the opportunity to see things differently, and therefore then break the old patterns, go with that beginner's mind and do something different. Do the pivot. Do the pivot. So aging successfully, it's more about than just living longer. It's about your mindset. It's about where you see yourself and how you see yourself. So first and foremost, must take care of your physical health. Now, like I mentioned before, some of us age physically differently. You know, some of us have more wrinkles at 50 than others. Some of us have, we develop conditions, arthritis, just the breaking down of our joints from overuse or not enough use. And we also have all these wonderful, unfortunate diseases that are there that we can develop. Not really going to talk a lot about that because it's all part of what you can do to prevent. And finally, I think the healthcare industry is finally caught up that they're better off spending money on oh my gosh, words, preventative medicine rather than dealing with the problem once it happens. It's cheaper to prevent it than actually have to deal with it. Way to go. Finally, it's about time. So taking care of yourself. So seeing a doctor, staying active. It's so important to move your body. I can't say that enough. If you physically can, do it. Do it, or do what you need to do in order to physically move yourself. Because it will also help you feel young. I mean, remember, we know, it's been proven, that exercise releases the positive endorphins that just also help us feel better about ourselves. It's a win-win all around. And then the other thing that I'm also going to mention with regards to physical is making healthy food choices. Proper nutrition plays a huge role in how you feel about yourself. Because my father told me from the very, very, very time that I could the earliest memory that I actually do have is my father telling me, you are what you eat. And I didn't really get it, and it didn't really make sense. Although, because I think he said it when I was 5. And at 5, I still fully didn't understand, because again, brain not fully formed at 5 to understand. When I ate a watermelon seed, I thought a watermelon was going to grow in my stomach because you are what you eat. So if you eat a watermelon, then it would make sense that you would become a watermelon, right? Anyway, that was my 5-year-old thinking. It's also really important to get enough sleep. Sleep, sleep, sleep. I'm tired of saying I'll sleep when I'm dead, because I really know that I need to start sleeping. That's definitely something that I need to be more cognizant of. And I'm envious of those who can just go to sleep, who let go of all that went on during the day and not thinking about what they need to do tomorrow, and can just go to sleep. I think part of the reason why I know right now probably that I'm not thinking as well as I could be, not should, could be, it's because I did not get enough sleep last night. And I usually try to the night before a show, so I can be 100% alert and awake and alive and be on my toes so I can handle all that I am now downloading. And then the last thing with regards to physicality is don't ignore chronic pain. So if you have a little pain and you take an Advil or a Tylenol and it goes away, don't worry about it. If it keeps persisting, please go see a doctor and take care of it. Don't be the martyr. Oh, it's nothing. It'll go away. Don't be so afraid. Take care of it. Take care of your physical health. Because without your body, there really isn't much that you can do with regards to being able to be out in nature on your own. Because I'm going to keep going back to that. So let's talk about your mental well-being, your mental health. It is very connected to your physical health because we know that the mind-body connection is really strong. So how you view yourself, how you view your aging process, and then your overall life is really significant. Because no matter how old you get, you're still developing. You're still changing. And you will have new cells generate till the day that you die. It just slows down and probably doesn't happen as frequently, although you will have new cells generate themselves. There will be newness till the day you die, because that's what the body does. And so therefore, that's also what the mind does. The brain is forever going to be synapsing. It's forever going to be firing. And yes, it slows down, and different parts of the brain, there's been a lot of studies. I have not done a lot of research on it. We just know based on, I'm going to just say, I know just based on observation, that as we age, parts of our brain slow down. So I am truly fascinated by the 75-year-old person who can remember everything that happened when they were 30, although they can't necessarily remember what was on the laundry, the grocery list, or they can't remember what they wanted, what they say they're going to do tomorrow. So that's why they need to look it up. They need to write it down, and that's all okay. So yes, there's a difference between short-term memory and long-term memory, and it's all good. So stop beating yourself up if you don't remember things. It doesn't say anything negative about you. It just says that you are human. Excuse me. So with regards to keeping up your cognitive self, keeping your mind, here's some tips for keeping your mind in tip-top shape. So take on a challenge. That's why Wordle and Quordle and Octordle, and that's why I've been playing word games for years, hoping that it will help me with the future in terms of keeping my brain always going, always doing, always working, thinking. Volunteer, work part-time, do something to keep yourself active, because that also will keep the regeneration going. And the last one, invest in a memory training app. We're going to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to talk more about some things that you can do for yourself. And then we're going to do a short little meditation. And then I'm going to bring it all together. So thank you so much for tuning in to the Feel to Heal show with myself, Sharyn Nichols. And we're talking about aging. See you back in a moment.
At different times on our life journey, we can feel stuck and struggle with seeing our way through. What if the answer to the struggle is just to go deeper than the surface? By tuning in to Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show with licensed marriage and family therapist and life guide Sharyn Nichols, you'll receive insight and guidance on exploring your feelings in order to heal yourself. Are you ready to create a more satisfying, peaceful, and successful life? Listen for the Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show every Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Mountain, and 3 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Healing through feeling is possible. What if you could start living life as you were meant to before all the conditioning and trauma covered up your beautiful soul? What if your relationships could deepen through a more authentic connection to your feelings and others? A more satisfying, successful, and peaceful life is attainable when you work with Sharyn Nichols, marriage and family therapist and life guide. Connect through her website, feeltoheal.com, or her email, SharynNichols@feeltoheal.com, to learn more about the Feel to Heal process. Isn't it time for you to start healing?
This is Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show with licensed marriage and family therapist and life guide Sharyn Nichols. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also ask questions or comments by email by sending to SharynNichols@feeltoheal.com. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in to the Feel to Heal show with myself, Sharyn Nichols. And please reach out. Email me, SharynNichols@feeltoheal.com. I welcome all questions, comments, all of it. And thank you so much for listening and tuning in to Facebook Live. I'm so grateful to all of you. And that all being said, we're talking about aging. And so it's also really important in terms of aging and as we age to continue to strengthen our social relationships, because we cannot exist alone. We do not. I mean, I've been saying this for the longest time that we need each other. We can't exist in a vacuum. We need each other's support through it all. Good, bad, ugly, doesn't even matter. So it's really important that in order to stay positive, that we have each other. So with regards to strong social relationships, make new friends. Keep your old friends. Make new friends, but keep the old. One is silver and the other's gold. My parents in their late 70s, early 80s just made new friends. I was blown away and so excited and happy for them. Because who would have thought? You had to hear my mother talking about how excited she was to make new friends. Not that she thought that she couldn't, just the opportunity hadn't presented itself. And it finally did. And so she was so happy that she could and did. Anyway, they had a lovely dinner. More on that later. So take time to travel when you can. Go explore, see different things, change your scenery, different perspective, a pivot. All has to do with what you see. Laughter, laughter, laughter. I laugh as much as I possibly can. I laugh at myself first in a positive way. I laugh at others second in a positive way. And then I just laugh at the irony of life. It's so important to relieve this idea, this notion that everything needs to be a certain way. And And I think we laugh at a joke because it's not perfect. We laugh at our imperfections. And here's the other thing with regards to aging. Take a class. It's never too late to learn something new. And that will also, it will engage you with other people. It will keep your mind going. You'll literally probably physically have to walk to a class. I mean, it engages all. It's social, it's physical, and it's mental. So how do you know if you are aging successfully? No two people are the same. So you are going to experience your aging process differently than anybody else. And so really, I've truly just been able to talk about myself and my observations of me and where I am, and that fact that I'm truly in the middle of my life, and that I have such respect for those under 25, and I have such respect for those older. So let's see, we've got a couple of more minutes, and I think it's time to transition into a little quick meditation. My meditation, which can be done in 3 minutes. So your council of 3. Let's all receive a breath. Sitting comfortably, allowing your eyes to close, and imagine that you are sitting in front of your council of 3, your mind, your body, and your soul. Your mind is sitting to your left, your body is in the center, and then your soul is to your right. Feel free to make these 3 entities, celebrities, deities, animals, objects, colors, whatever you desire. Trust what you see. Look at your mind and ask, what do you need to tell me? What do you want me to remember? What's on the proverbial grocery list? And if you need to take a moment to jot something down, do that. And receiving a breath. And then when you are complete, thank your mind for sharing its thoughts with you. Now focusing to the center, your body. Scan your body from head to toe and notice any of the aches and the pains or the tension. Check your head, your neck, your torso, your arms, your hands, your legs and feet. And make a note of any place that needs love and attention. And when you are ready, thank your body for being this incredible vessel, getting you from point A to point B. And now that you've attended to your mind and your body, ask your soul, what's your next right move? And when you're complete, thank your soul for always getting you where you need to be, safely and on time. And receiving a breath, and I apologize for shortening the meditation, although we've run out of time. Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's show on aging. And remember who you are. You might as well be you, because everyone else is taken. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you for choosing to listen to the Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show. Sharyn Nichols will return next Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Mountain, and 3 p.m. Pacific. on inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. We hope you'll join us. Until then, give up the struggle, feel all you need to feel, and make this week your best one yet.